Imagine the scenario. The clock is about to turn to 2025, and humanity, as we know it, is at its technological peak, but also at the limit of its ability to deal with its own mistakes. This idea of a possible end of the world is not new, but it gained frightening strength in the predictions of BABA VANGA. Considered by many to be one of the greatest prophetesses of the 20th century, she left alarming predictions about a catastrophic year that would change the destiny of humanity forever. But why 2025? What did she see? What are we ignoring? These questions are not only intriguing, they may be an urgent warning. BABA VANGA, blind since childhood and known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, made frighteningly accurate predictions about global events. Among them, the fall of the Twin Towers, the emergence of the Arab Spring, and even the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, one of her darkest prophecies points to 2025 as the year in which an apocalyptic event could redefine our planet. Have you ever stopped to think about how this would affect your life? Your routine, your plans for the future, even the simplest things, like a family dinner, could disappear in a matter of months or even days. But what exactly did she predict? In her visions, BABA VANGA mentioned a series of global disasters that would converge in a short space of time. Among them, unprecedented environmental devastation. Imagine the total melting of the polar ice caps, causing a catastrophic rise in sea levels. Coastal cities, such as New York, Rio de Janeiro, and Tokyo, completely submerged. In addition, she warned of a social collapse due to the scarcity of natural resources, something we are already seeing in small signs. Have you noticed how food inflation and water crises in several countries are becoming more frequent? This could be just the beginning of something much bigger. Another part of her prophecy involves a global war. According to Vanga, 2025 would mark the beginning of a conflict so devastating that it would surpass the destruction of World War II. And we are not just talking about traditional weapons, but the use of technologies never seen before. Imagine autonomous drones, biological weapons, and cyber attacks paralyzing entire nations. These scenarios are not science fiction, they are real possibilities in a world where tensions such as those between the United States, China, Russia, and the Middle East are at alarming levels. Now, think with me, how would this impact your daily life? Waking up in the morning to work or taking your children to school could become an unattainable privilege. What would you do if there were no more stocked supermarkets, functioning hospitals, or even electricity to charge your cell phone? It seems far away, but we are closer to that than we imagine. BABA VANGA warned about the fragility of modern civilization, something we ignore in our relentless pursuit of comfort and consumption. But is there anything positive? Yes. BABA VANGA also spoke of hope. She mentioned that humanity would be put to the test and that only those who maintained their faith, morality, and compassion would survive the chaos. This may sound like a cliché, but think about how tragic events in the past, such as World War II or the COVID-19 pandemic, brought out incredible acts of solidarity and unity. Perhaps 2025 will not just be the end, but a new beginning. What about you? Are you prepared to be part of this new beginning, or will you be consumed by fear and inertia? Now, let me share something that few people know about BABA VANGA's predictions. Among her statements is a message about that cycle of awakening. She claimed that in 2025, a rare cosmic alignment would reveal hidden truths about the origin and purpose of humanity. This, she said, would be both a blessing and a curse. Those who were spiritually prepared could find peace and answers. However, for those who were unprepared, the shock of the revelation would be unbearable. Think about it. While we worry about physical tragedies, Perhaps the greatest impact is on a spiritual and emotional level. Have you noticed how people are more anxious, more disconnected from each other? Perhaps what Baba Vanga saw was not just an apocalypse in the traditional sense, but an internal transformation that will force us to confront our own demons. Are we ready to look within ourselves and accept truths that we have avoided for so long? There are still many details to explore. What exactly does this cosmic alignment mean? How can we prepare for the challenges of 2025? And, above all, do we have enough time to change the course of events? If you think you can ignore these questions, remember, history has shown us that those who do not prepare for the unexpected are the first to succumb. And you, how are you preparing for what could be the greatest challenge of our existence? Baba Vanga also warned of the rise of an intelligence that would surpass humanity. Many believe that this prediction is directly linked to artificial intelligence, AI. We are already seeing how advanced algorithms are taking over human functions in areas such as health, finance, and transportation. But what if, by 2025, this technology surpasses the limits of human control? Imagine a world where AI decides that humanity is dispensable for the preservation of the planet. It may seem exaggerated, but experts such as Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk have already warned about the dangers of an AI run amok. In such a scenario, human creation itself could be the trigger for the apocalypse. Another specific point of Baba Vanga's predictions involves ecological balance. Recent studies indicate that we are at a critical point in terms of biodiversity loss. Species are disappearing at alarming rates, and the collapse of entire ecosystems is getting closer. Baba Vanga predicted that by 2025, extreme weather events would trigger a global crisis. Think of the impact of an endless summer, where entire crops are destroyed, or storms so violent that entire cities have to be abandoned. Food and water shortages would lead to a war for resources, and survival would be guaranteed only for the strongest or most prepared. Amidst this catastrophic vision, Baba Vanga emphasized that spirituality would be a pillar for those who survived. She believed that humanity would have the chance to reconnect with essential values, such as solidarity, humility, and faith. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen examples of this: people helping strangers, communities coming together to face hardships. But are we ready to reclaim these values in a much more extreme scenario? The prophecy suggests that those who close themselves off to selfishness and materialism will be doomed. This does not only mean surviving physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. What about you? What would be your choice in a world that demands as much of the soul as the body? Few people know that Baba Vanga also mentioned something mysterious, that 2025 would mark the beginning of a cosmic revolution. She suggested that humanity would be exposed to universal forces that transcend our current understanding. Some interpret this as the arrival of an astronomical event, such as an asteroid impact or a solar flare of epic proportions. Others believe it would be a spiritual awakening, as if we were finally seeing our place in the universe. Either way, this revelation would bring both fear and hope, depending on how each person is prepared to receive it. Are we ready to discover that the world as we know it is just a small piece of something much larger and more complex? No one can say for sure whether 2025 will be the end of the world or not. But Baba Vanga's messages lead us to reflect deeply on the direction we are heading. The choice is in our hands: to continue living as if everything were under control or to start preparing for profound changes, both external and internal. Ultimately, these prophecies are not just a warning, they are an opportunity to rethink our priorities and our role on this planet. Are you ready to face reality head-on and become part of the solution? Or will you continue to ignore the signs, hoping that this will be just another ordinary year? Time is running out, and the answers we find now could be decisive for our future.